For latest astrology videos, subscribe AstroEdify channel and press this bell icon to get notified when a new video goes live. Hello everybody, welcome to AstroEdify. Today we are going to discuss about how a retrograde planet functions and give results in a horoscope. So let's start this video. If you want to take a consultation from me, you can go on this website. The link is given in the description. So today we are going to talk about retrograde planets. I have already made a series on this, on the results of individual retrograde planets and like Venus, Mars, Mercury, Saturn and Jupiter. So you can watch that series here in the card section. But today we are going to talk about a general principle which applies to each and every retrograde planet, and most of you, I know, that will not be familiar with that. And if you have been familiar with that, you are not, I don't think that you would be able to judge the horoscope the way we are going to do this today. So the first thing is that there are many false notions about retrograde planets, especially about retrograde Saturn and Mars. Most of the people, and especially most of the astrologers, they think that retrograde Saturn and Mars, specifically other planets also, they are bad. Just by simply being a retrograde, they consider it to be weak and they consider it to be highly malefic. This is wrong. Okay, this is totally wrong and incorrect. See, actually, to assess the nature of any planet, you have to see each and every position in the horoscope. And everyone's horoscope is different. It is like your unique identity, like our fingerprint, like our DNA. It is unique. And in the same manner, your horoscope is also unique. So, any planet which is retrograde, just by simply being in retrogression, you cannot say that that planet is very powerful, very strong, or very weak, or very positive, or very malefic. It's totally incorrect. Today we are going to discuss that how you have to judge the results of any retrograde planet, and it applies to each and every one of them. So the basic general principle to see the result of any retrograde planet is only one, no other one, only one, and that is that any retrograde planet gives the result from two houses. That's correct. It gives the result from two houses, and that is why it has to be considered with very much keenness in the horoscope. Okay, you have to see that how a retrograde planet is actually functioning, and that depends on the zodiac sign in which it is placed, and in the house in which it is placed, and with the planets which it is placed. And since it is going to give the result from two houses, that is why it becomes important. And most of the people do not know this, and the only reason why they think that they are highly malefic, they are very bad, they are very good, or they are very powerful, they do not know the reason, but yet they say this. The reason is this, that why they are of utmost importance. I am not saying that they are powerful or they are weak. I am saying that they are of utmost importance. The reason is that they are controlling the two houses now, and that is why the more retrograde planets in the horoscope, the more chances that the results of the horoscope will be very complex. Okay, and you have to study it in each and every detailed manner possible. And that is why retrograde planets are, most of the people are feared of them. That is the simple reason. But today, what I am going to say is, do not fear. The only thing you need to learn is the method, how you have to look at them, how you have to judge them. The first principle and the only principle is that it controls two houses. Now, what two houses? First thing, let's say, first thing is that any planet which is sitting in a particular house, obviously it is going to give the result from that particular house. But a retrograde planet gives the result from the previous house also. Not 100% results, but some percentage of results, nearly 40-50%, are seen from the previous house, just the previous house in which they are sitting. Let's say, for example, that Jupiter is sitting in 10th house in anyone's horoscope. Now, what Jupiter will do, it is retrograde, and now it is going to give the result from the 10th house as well as from the 9th house. From the 9th house, it is not going to give the results 100%. It is going to give the results nearly 40 to 50%. But since it is retrograde, so you have to check the placement of Jupiter from both these houses, and then you have to assess. So that is why, this is the reason that any retrograde planet becomes very much important, because it is going to give the result from two houses. We are going to understand this with the help of two examples today, so that you can understand it in more better manner. And see, and now this depends on the placement of the planet in a particular zodiac sign and the house, whether that retrograde planet is good or bad, whether it is strong or weak, whether it will give positive or negative results. So for that, you have to see how the planet is placed. Let's say, for example, that Jupiter is debilitated in sign of Capricorn and it is retrograde. Now see the difference between a retrograde Jupiter which is debilitated and the direct Jupiter which is debilitated. The Jupiter which is direct and it is debilitated is more weak as compared to retrograde Jupiter which is debilitated. The reason is that direct Jupiter will give results only from the sign of Capricorn. So it is going to be debilitated there. But a retrograde Jupiter will give results not only from Capricorn but also from just the previous sign, that is Sagittarius, which is the Moola Trikona zodiac sign of Jupiter, which is its own sign. So Jupiter will be less malefic and it will be more stronger than a direct Jupiter which is in Capricorn. So this is how you have to see. Okay, so now I am going to take two examples, and with the help of these examples you will understand more. So first example on the screen right now is of Mr. Shah Rukh Khan. People who do not know him, I am afraid you do not know him, because he is the biggest superstar in Indian film industry, and we are going to see his horoscope, and this is the best example for studying retrograde planets. So see here that in his horoscope you are able to see two planets which are retrograde. One is Saturn and the other is Jupiter. Our main focus today is going to be on Jupiter, which is retrograde. Now see here that he's a renowned actor in Indian film industry, and see that Jupiter is very vital for his career, and Jupiter is the reason why he is an actor, why he is on such a high position right now, because Jupiter is the one who made him an actor, who gave him opportunities to be in acting, who established his career as an actor, and at the same time who gave him a tremendous growth as a superstar and a huge mass fan following and a superstardom. Who gave that? That is Jupiter. And the reason is, see that Jupiter Mahadasha is the reason. His Jupiter Mahadasha, you can see here, started from 5th of March 1992 and it went on for next 16 years till 4th of March 2008. And this was the time period, these 16 years of Jupiter Mahadasha, they made him what he is today. These years made him an actor. These years provided him that initial opportunity and rose him to the level of the greatest superstar which India has ever seen. So why is the reason? What is the reason? Let's see. So see here that Jupiter is retrograde. As I said that Jupiter, any planet which is retrograde, gives the result from two houses, the one in which it is sitting and at the same time just the previous house. So let's assume that Jupiter is in the 10th house also, because it has to give result from the 10th house. Now what will happen? If Jupiter is going to be in the 10th house, obviously it has to give results associated with career, and if it is going to be in the 10th house, it will be in mutual exchange of zodiac signs with Venus, which is in the 5th house in the sign of Sagittarius. So Jupiter here in the 10th house is now going to give results associated with career, because it is not only in the 10th house but also in Parivartan Yoga with the 10th lord of career, that is Venus. And now see that Jupiter is controlling the 5th house. 5th house is the main house for acting, cinema, drama, entertainment. 3rd house, 5th house and 7th house are the three main houses for acting, entertainment and cinema. So being the 5th lord, Jupiter is now going to give the results from the 10th house and in Parivartan with Venus. So what will happen now? That it is going to be a very fruitful dasha for career. First thing which we can see. Now next thing is that Jupiter is also going to be giving the results associated with the Rahu. Rahu is exalted. Technically this is not a Guru Chandal Yoga. Do not take it that way. But what will be the effect of this Jupiter and Rahu result in the 10th house is that Rahu and Jupiter are going to expand that house in which they are sitting. What they are going to do? They are going to expand the career. They are going to give him a lot of opportunities, and that is the reason that he rose tremendously to a huge level during this Jupiter Mahadasha. This whole Jupiter Mahadasha was the reason. It gave him a lot of opportunities, and he became literally the biggest superstar in the Hindi film industry. So Jupiter in the 10th house is the reason. At the same time, see here that Jupiter will also give results associated with Mars and Mercury. So Mars and Mercury and Jupiter are already making a good combination for his acting career, but at the same time they are making a good Raj Yoga as well as Dhan Yoga. Between Jupiter and Mars and Mercury, there is a strong Raj Yoga between 5th, 4th and 9th house and 11th and 2nd house. Strong Raj Yoga as well as Dhan Yoga. So Jupiter is very powerful. At the same time, see the condition of Jupiter in Navamsha, it is in its own sign. So Jupiter is well placed in Navamsha, means it has very strong strength. So Jupiter is favorable, and this Jupiter Mahadasha in 1992 it started, and in 1992 he started his career. His first film, his debut film came in 1992, Divana. It was in 1992 when he started his acting career, and since then it was a history, and everyone knows what he is today. So this is the best example for studying a retrograde planet, how it gives the results. And at the same time, Jupiter also conferred him with various awards and lot of awards and a huge recognition throughout the world. The reason behind is that Jupiter is in the 11th house of recognition, and at the same time it is the 5th lord of dignity. So being the 5th lord sitting in 11th house, it not only gave him his opportunity to start his career as an actor, but also rose him to a very high level of and making him a part of the list of the great renowned actors. So Jupiter was the reason. Okay, so this is the first thing. Now the next example very quickly is of Srimati Indira Gandhi ji. So she was our former prime minister and the only woman prime minister till now in India. So we are also going to take her case, and it is also again a very beautiful example to study the retrogression of any planet. And again we are going to study the planet of Jupiter, because it is the only retrograde planet here. So see here that Jupiter here in her case also made her for what she is known right now, that is the prime minister. So in the Mahadasha of Jupiter, she became prime minister for the first time in the Mahadasha of Jupiter. So let's see what is the reason. So technically see here that Jupiter, if we say and we do not apply this principle that any planet which is retrograde gives the result from the previous house, we cannot say that Jupiter is going to confer her such a high position in her career. Okay, if we do not apply this rule. The reason is because if we do not apply this rule, then what will happen? Jupiter will have no connection whatsoever with career, because It will not give any result from the 10th house. It has no aspect or relation with the 10th Lord Mars. At the same time, Jupiter is not Amatyakarak also. So Jupiter has no connection whatsoever with career if we do not apply this principle of retrogression. Okay, now we know that Jupiter being retrograde is going to give result from the previous house also, that is the 10th house. Now in the 10th house is what? It is the house of career, and Jupiter is very powerful because it is Vargottam. Jupiter is Vargottam, and at the same time Jupiter is in Parivartan Yoga, means it is in mutual exchange of zodiac signs with Venus. So you do not know what is Parivartan Yoga, you can go on my channel and you can watch the video for Parivartan Yoga, what it is and how it actually functions. So see here that Jupiter is in Parivartan Yoga, means mutual exchange of zodiac signs with Venus. Now what will happen? Surely we can see here that Jupiter has to bring gains because it is sitting in the 11th house of gains. Now gains associated with what? Gains associated with power, gains associated with throne, gains associated with career. The reason is that Jupiter is going to give result from 10th house. At the same time it is in Parivartan with Venus. Venus is 4th lord also. 4th house is the house of throne, 4th house is the house of power, 4th house is the house of highest seat in any country, and in our country it is Prime Minister. So being in Parivartan with Venus, Jupiter is powerful. And another thing, it has to give results associated with career. Now she was a politician, so Jupiter is 6th lord and 9th lord, 6th house and 9th house. 9th house is higher administration and ministry, and 6th house is the main house of politics. For any politician, 6th house is a must, and Jupiter is the Karak planet for ministership. It represents ministers. So Jupiter being in the 10th house, giving the result from the 10th house, also gave her a huge position in career for the very first time in her life. Now next thing is that she became Prime Minister for the first time in Jupiter Mahadasha, Sun Antardasha, and at the same time see here in Navamsha chart also Jupiter is 10th lord of career. So Jupiter is very powerful. Now next thing, Sun Antardasha was the first time when she became Prime Minister. Sun Antardasha and Ketu Pratyantardasha. Now see the Sun. So Sun, obviously we can see that Sun is in Parivartan Yoga with Mars. Mars is what? Her 10th lord and Yoga Karak, and Mars is Vargottam again. Mars is Vargottam. Now see what is happening, that that Sun has to give good results associated with career, and Sun is the natural significator for government and power and the ruler of the country. So Sun is that. Now next thing, Ketu Pratyantar Dasha was the first time when she became Prime Minister, and it was on 24th of January 1966. And from 1966 she remained till 1977. For nearly 11 years she became the Prime Minister. She remained the Prime Minister, and then again for 4 years from 80 to 84. So see here that Jupiter Sun Ketu was the first time when she became the Prime Minister. So Ketu Pratyantar Dasha. Now Ketu has no relation whatsoever with the career, but see here in Navamsha it is in 10th house. In Dashamsha also if you will look, it is in the 10th house of career. So Ketu is important. But one more thing is that Ketu is going to act like Rahu because it is in the nakshatra of Aradra. So Rahu is 10th lord from Jupiter, whose Mahadasha was running. So Rahu is 10th lord from Jupiter. Okay, Aquarius is ruled by two planets, Rahu and Saturn both. So Rahu is that planet, and Jupiter is in mutual association with Venus and Rahu both. So career related results are seen, and Ketu is aspecting the 10th house from Jupiter, that is the 8th house. Ketu is acting like Rahu. So Ketu Pratyantar Dasha was powerful, and during this time she became the Prime Minister for the first time of India. And she became the Prime Minister after the demise of the former Prime Minister Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri ji. So what was the reason? The reason was this 8th house. 8th house is the house of death. Okay, so this Ketu Pratyantar Dasha was the reason actually that after the demise of Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri ji, she became the Prime Minister for the first time in her career. And why that happened? Because the influence of the 8th house. That's simple. So you can see here that retrograde Jupiter was the reason that she became the Prime Minister and remained Prime Minister throughout the Jupiter Mahadasha and for a substantial time in Saturn Mahadasha also. So now see here, we have seen here the power of any planet which is retrograde. Okay, so I think that now you would have been able to understand that how a retrograde planet functions and how you have to see its results. And this is how you have to study it, only on the one basic general principle, that is, it gives a result from the two houses. That's simple. And now you should not fall into that false beliefs and notions that any planet which is retrograde is bad or is very good or is very powerful. It's rubbish if you are following those general principles. You have to see the placement of any particular planet which is retrograde in your horoscope or in anyone's horoscope which you are studying, and it depends on the planetary combinations. Okay, so I think that now you would have understood how it works. So if you are new to my channel, subscribe below. For more, check on my website and Facebook page. Otherwise, we will meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye and thank you.